All right, everyone. So it is just after 1:30 p.m. Eastern. I guess it is a good time to get started. So welcome to today's webinar on ports and cruise lines, titled Beyond the Port. The webinar is primarily going to cover popular cruise port cities, including Barcelona, Civitavecchia, Lisbon, and Amsterdam. And we are also going to delve into some interesting day trips that your clients can take from these destinations. My name is Mary. I'm a B2B communication specialist here at Daytrip, and I'm delighted that you are all here with me today. Before we get started, I just wanted to go over a few brief housekeeping rules. The first one is to please keep your microphones off for the duration of the webinar. At the end, you will have the chance to ask questions if you would like. You can ask them in the chat or by unmuting yourself. It is up to you. And also, the webinar will be recorded, and a link to the recording will be sent to all registered participants. So if you have your own recording software in here, it's okay. But if you don't, no worries. We will be recording this webinar and uploading it to YouTube so you can watch it later at your leisure. So without further ado, let's get started. Just to go over a brief table of contents, first I'm going to go over why book with Daytrip, who we are, a little bit about what we do. Then I'm going to go into the trip booking process and show you a live demonstration of 2 trips. Then we're going to get into the content of the webinar, which is going to be about popular port cities in Europe and day trips that your clients can take from them. And then lastly, we're going to go into some FAQs. So I have some of my own in the presentation, but also any questions that you write into the chat will be addressed at the end. So why day trip? Who are we and what do we do exactly? So we are a private car transportation company operating in over 130 countries around the world. We pride ourselves on providing convenient door-to-door private car transfers and maintaining consistently high standards across all countries in which we operate. So you can expect the same high standards for your clients, whether you are booking for them in Italy or Brazil or Thailand or New Zealand. We primarily focus on longer haul transfers. However, we do also provide shorter ones, such as airport transfers, port pickups, you name it, we can probably do it. And once again, we do pride ourselves on providing consistent and reliable service globally, so you know that you can count on us no matter where your clients are traveling. Now, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the driver vetting process and how it looks. So any drivers who are interested in cooperating with us first have to undergo a one-on-one interview with a country manager. Then they'll undergo a driver background and car safety check. Lastly, they will undergo day trip customer service training to ensure that they meet our high standards and are a good fit for us. And on the other end, just to make sure that we are also a good fit for them. And then only after all of that is done, they will be approved to drive on our platform. This process is overseen by 5 continental managers all around the world and 15 country managers. We also maintain an internal feedback system just so that we can ensure that we are maintaining the same high standards no matter where we operate, and we ensure that the drivers cooperating with us receive good feedback. Now I'll talk a little bit about the transportation types on our platform. So we offer 4 primary vehicle categories. They can differ slightly depending on where you book us, and they differ in terms of the amount of passengers that can be transported, as well as the luggage capacity. So although those parts may differ a little bit, for all of the vehicle categories, we provide vetted English-speaking drivers. We offer 24/7 customer support over phone, email, and live chat. All vehicles are air conditioned in the summer, or they are heat controlled in the winter, so you can be confident that your clients will travel in comfort. Also, complimentary water is provided on all transfers. Now I'm going to get into the next part of the webinar, which is booking a trip. So I'm going to show you a live demonstration of two trips, and I'm also going to give you a brief tour of your travel agent profile. So please bear with me just one moment while I pull up our website. Okay, here we are. So the very first thing to make sure of is that you are logged into your travel agent account. And you'll know that you are logged in if you look at the upper right-hand corner here and see your name. Also from this tab, you can manage your account and trips in various ways, and you can also log out. So for the first trip I'm going to demonstrate, it's going to be a simple one-way trip from Naples to Amalfi. So here you can select the type of transfer that you want, a one-way, a return, or multi-city trip, which allows you to book all your clients' trips in one convenient process. And we also have the option to book a day trip, which is a same day round trip to various destinations and sightseeing stops outside of the city where your clients are staying. But I'll delve into that a little bit more later. So for this one-way trip from Naples to Amalfi, in the from field, we are going to type Naples. Let's say they're getting picked up at the airport, so we will put Naples Airport. And in the to field, we are going to put Amalfi. Next, you can choose the departure date and time for your clients. So let's say that they are flying in on July 2nd, and let's say that their flight gets in at about 10 a.m. or so. For all airport pickups, we typically recommend a departure time of 30 to 45 minutes after the plane lands to allow enough time for them to get their luggage, deplane, go through customs, and things like that. And in case they're delayed for any reason, an hour of complimentary waiting time is included in the price. So we'll set as 10:30 a.m. departure time, click on done. And in this next part, you can customize the amount of people in the booking, including adults and children. The reason why we ask for details about the children up to the age of 12 is because our partner drivers will provide a child seat completely free of charge. So let's say that there are 3 adults in this booking, and let's say that there is 1 child. Here's some information about the luggage parameters, and if your clients will have any extra sets of bags, then you can indicate them here. So once everything looks good, we'll click on search. Now we're in the first step of the booking process, and you can also see where you are in the booking process by looking at this progress bar at the top of the page. You can also change the language of our website and also adjust the currency as well. So since I put 4 passengers, the transportation options are going to be an MPV or a van. They're the same price in this case, so let's just keep it as a van. And you can also see an overview of their itinerary right here. We'll proceed to the next step in the booking process, which is to add stops. So there will be a prompt for you to add the most loved stops by fellow travelers. But now I'm going to click on the option to select our own. And here you can see an overview of all of the stops that we offer along this route. So let's say that your clients still have some time before they should check into their hotel. Why not book them a sightseeing stop along the way? Let's click on Mount Vesuvius, for example. We can read a little bit more about it. And there's also some information about the suggested time, the type of attraction, and whether entrance tickets are included. In the case that entrance tickets are not included, there is usually some information at the bottom, which will point you to the best place to get tickets if they're required ahead of time. So let's say that your clients would like to spend 2 hours there, so we'll leave it like this and we'll click on add. Now we can see in our itinerary on the right, this stop at Mount Vesuvius. So we can just add that one stop and then we will go to the checkout page. So now we are on the details and payment page, which is the last step of the booking process. Here at the top of the page, you can see your personal information. Then you can fill in the contact information of the lead passenger, including the name, last name, phone number, and email address. You can also get some information about the particular emails that are sent to this address. Make sure to check off that the lead passenger is over 18 years old, and you can also add additional contact information of other passengers if you would like. So because I put a child in the booking, it's going to prompt you to select the child seat type. Here you can see the various choices and the age and weight parameters. So let's say that these clients are traveling with a 3-year-old. We'll select a forward-facing seat with a harness, and our partner drivers will bring it to the pickup. You can enter the pickup and drop off information. So since I had put Naples Airport as the pickup point, it is prompting me for the flight number. However, if you don't know it yet, it's fine. You can enter it up to 24 hours before departure. The very last step is selecting the payment method. So for one-way trips, the available payment methods are credit or debit card, Apple Pay, Google Pay, or cash. And then once everything looks good, you can click here to book your trip. So that is it for the first booking demonstration. Now I am going to move on to the next one. So the next part of the booking demonstration is going to be dedicated to one of our newest releases, which are called day trips. So they are day space trips by day trip. We like to think of these as more than a car transfer, but different from a tour. It's a same day round trip transportation package where your clients can leave the city that they are staying in and discover some other cities or monuments around. So let's say that it's the same clients who are headed to Amalfi and they would like to get out of Amalfi for the day. We will search Amalfi in the search bar here. And then you can see all the various options that are available to book from Amalfi. There's also some information about the trip duration and the cost per person. Let's say that your clients would like to explore more of the Amalfi Coast and head to Positano and Rovere. We'll click here. And here you can see some more pictures. You can read a little bit about the trip, learn a bit what to expect, things that are good to know, and also see the trip at a glance, including a preview on Apple Maps here. Also, if you have any questions or need any help, you can chat with our 24/7 customer support directly from this page. Now up here, we can customize the pickup time and date and passenger amount. So let's say your clients would like to head to Amalfi, head from Amalfi to these other destinations on July 8th. And let's say they'd like to get a pretty early start at 8 a.m. We'll click that. And as we had indicated before, there will be 3 adults and 1 child. Then we will click on Book Now. And here it takes you right to the details and payment page, and the most suitable vehicle is automatically assigned to the trip. So once again, you can see your travel agent information up here. You can enter the lead passenger information, as well as select the child seat. You can indicate any special requirements that the clients may have. For example, if the clients have mobility issues, if there will be a service dog or cat, or if there will be any extra luggage or skis or something like that, this is the place to write it. Here you can write the pickup and drop off location, which will be the same. Or if you don't know it yet, no problem. You can add it up to 24 hours before departure. Once again, the very last step in this process is entering the preferred payment method. So for day trips, Currently, the available payment methods are credit or debit card, Apple Pay, Google Pay, or cash. Once everything looks good, you can select this and click here to book your trip. So that is it for the second part of the booking demo. And now I'm just going to give you a brief tour of your travel agent profile. So we'll head back to the home page. We'll click on the upper right-hand corner and click on my profile. So over here on the left side, you have the contact information of our 24/7 customer support. So once again, you can reach them by phone, by email, and also by live chat. And you now have the option to do so directly through your profile just by clicking either here or here. Then you can see an overview of your personal information, including your phone number. And you can also update that information if you would like or reset your password. Down here, you have the option to opt into our bi-monthly newsletters, which cover new product releases and travel inspiration and other announcements. Here in the middle, there's some information about your commercial conditions. So depending on your commercial conditions with us, this might look a little bit different. For example, my account has a 5% commission, but that may look different for you. Over here on the right, there are some cool stats. So you can see how many rides your clients have completed with Daytrip, the amount of passengers that Daytrip has transported, and the amount of countries that your clients have visited. If you scroll all the way down, you have access to some FAQs and some information about where Daytrip operates. You can also click here to access our help center, which covers these topics more in depth. So that is it for the tour of the travel agent profile. And if you have further questions, feel free to pop them in the chat and I will address them closer to the end. Bear with me one moment while I switch back to the presentation. Okay, so now for the main content of the webinar, which highlights destinations that you can explore beyond cruise ports. So the season for cruise voyages is already well upon us. So plenty of travelers are setting sail right now. We're going to cover 4 popular cruise port destinations in Europe, go over what travelers can do in these cities, and also go over various destinations that your clients can travel to from these cities with the help of day trips. So let's get started with the first city, which is Barcelona. So Barcelona is, of course, chock full of things to do with its lively beaches and marinas, museums, galleries, botanical gardens, and castles. Your clients will never be at a loss of things to do once they disembark from the ship. Of course, there's also the iconic La Sagrada Familia, as you can see in the pictures, and also plenty of other sites to see, including UNESCO World Heritage sites. And also, there is a revived culinary scene where your clients can taste plenty of delicious traditional Catalan dishes. And as they explore throughout the city, they'll be able to see plenty of Roman and Mediterranean influences. So there is a blog post on our website covering all of these cities more in depth. And after the presentation, I will be sending a follow-up email with a link to the presentation and to this blog post. So if you want more travel inspiration or to learn about Barcelona or any of these cities, you can read more about it on our blog. So these are some day trip offerings from Barcelona. So we have a trip from Barcelona to Andorra la Vella, the capital of Andorra, nestled high in the mountains. Barcelona to Tarragona, Barcelona to Girona, and then Barcelona to La Seu d'Urgell and Andorra. Once again, you can see the approximate durations of each trip, and you can see the price points per person. The next city that I'm going to cover is Civitavecchia, also known as the Port of Rome, as many people disembark from this port and then head into Rome. It's often viewed as just a transit city, but it's well worth staying for at least a day or so with its picturesque Fort Michelangelo, upbeat Old Town and markets, and beautiful coastal views. It's also worth checking out the National Archaeological Museum in case your clients are history buffs or would like to see some interesting archaeological finds. It will treat them to a dive into the past among Etruscan finds, bronzes, ceramics, and much more. This is another city that you can read more about on our blog. So day trips from Civitavecchia include those to Rome, the intriguing underground city of Orvieto, and ancient Ostia, which features interesting ancient ports and harbors so your clients can truly step back in time. The third port city that I'm going to cover is Lisbon, which is endearingly nicknamed the City of Seven Hills, and rightly so. It's very deserving of this title, as it is truly filled with hills, and you're treated to views among cascading pastel houses pretty much anywhere you look. There are landmarks and monuments galore with Visigoth, Arabic, and Romanesque influence. A fun fact is that it is Europe's second oldest capital, and its history is well represented all throughout the city. Once your clients are done exploring all that the city has to offer, they can be treated to custard pies, the traditional Portuguese pies, and authentic tiles. So here are some pictures encapsulating Lisbon's beauty, and you can read more about Lisbon in our blog. So for our day trip offerings from Lisbon, they include trips to the Catholic pilgrimage site of Fatima, Roman ruins-filled Evora, medieval Óbidos, and then one to both Fatima and Batalha, which is the home of one of Portugal's most magnificent architectural masterpieces. So the final port city that I'm going to talk about today is Amsterdam, also endearingly known as the Venice of the North. So Amsterdam is perhaps well known for its canals and bicycle paths. But there's also plenty of opportunities to savor the arts, witness some history, and grab a stroopwafel along the way. Another fun fact about Amsterdam is that it is one of just two world capitals set below sea level. Here you can see some beautiful pictures of Amsterdam and the typical Dutch tulips in bloom, and you can read more about Amsterdam on our blog. So, as for day trips from Amsterdam, they include Keukenhof, which is also known as the Garden of Europe, as is pictured here. It has a truly magnificent garden. It's in bloom most of the time in late spring, but any time of year is a lovely time to visit it. There's another day trip to Haarlem and Keukenhof, which is very picturesque. There's one to Zandschans and Haarlem, where you can step back in time and see plenty of old windmills. And then one to Kinderdijk, which will provide your clients with the sight of windmills as well. And this one also includes a jaunt to Bruges, Belgium. So that is it for the port cities and day trips that your clients can take from them. I hope that this served as some useful travel inspiration as travelers set sail this summer and they want to get out of the port city that they're staying in for a day or two. Now I'm going to proceed to the Q&A, but first I will just check the chat and see if there are any questions in there. Okay, so I will scroll up to the top. I see some from the note takers. Okay, so Joanne has asked, is there a charge for car seats? Is there a way to indicate if they are bringing their own? That's a great question, Joanne. So there is no charge for car seats, but if the clients would like to bring their own, just note that in the special requests field at the end of the booking process. Okay, and Melissa says, I would love to speak with someone from day trip on my experience I just had in the Bahamas. I have some questions about it. Sure, Melissa. So you are welcome to reach out to me directly, or you can email our customer support team. There will be a follow-up after this webinar with a recording of the webinar as well as the presentation, and you can just respond to my email there, and I would be happy to talk to you. Sarah Petrosky asks, do you have any day trips in Mallorca? So at this time, since it's a relatively new product, I don't believe that we have them yet, or they may just be coming out. We're primarily focused on the offerings in Europe at the moment from major cities, but also we just released day trips, and there are plenty of them coming out all the time. If you are offering these for cruisers, is there a guaranteed return to port on time policy? So for this, we would recommend getting in touch with our customer support regarding the time that your clients will arrive to the port and then the latest time that they need to depart, and they can certainly advise you on the timing to book these trips. Okay, Jerry asks, can we book a private driver to simply pick up or drop off at port or hotel to explore a city? So at this time, we do not offer this. However, this has been quite a popular request from many of our travel agents. So it may be something that we introduce in the future, but at this time, we don't do like a driver by the hour or a tour guide around the city or anything like that. So it appears that those are all the questions for now. So now I will go through the ones on the slide here. And if any more come to your mind, feel free to type them in the chat. So the first question is, do all bookings require full payment at the time of booking? And I am happy to report that no, not all bookings require full payment at the time of booking. I believe for return trips, at this time, you can only pay by credit card, Google Pay, or Apple Pay. But for the rest of our offerings, you can pay by credit card or you can select the cash option. The cash option is a great option as a way to sort of book the trip now, but pay for it later, or your clients can pay cash to the driver the day of the trip. The second question is, what about last minute bookings? So what if you have a client whose flight was canceled and they need to get from, let's say, Paris to Brussels tomorrow? We can certainly help with that. So we guarantee all bookings requested at least 36 hours in advance. For bookings under 36 hours, although we cannot guarantee them, we will try our very best to find a driver for your clients. So you would proceed through the booking flow in the same way that I showed you. Just at the very end, you'll be taken to a page that notifies you that we're looking for a driver, and it notifies you of our progress in finding one. The third question is, can I book a same day round trip? So with this newest release of ours, day trips, which allows your clients to get out of the city for a day, this is a way to book a same day round trip. You can also use the return trip function on our homepage to book a trip, let's say in the morning. And then if they need to come back to the origin the same day, you can book that using our return trip function on our homepage. The fourth question is, can I request a specific driver? And we love receiving this question. It lets us know that our drivers are upholding our high standards and our clients and travel agents are enjoying our service and the drivers. It is possible to request a specific driver. We just can't always guarantee that they will be available since they may have prior obligations, but we would certainly try our best to assign the same driver if your clients liked them. The fifth question is, can I change my booking after I've booked it? And yes, we understand that things can come up and plans need to be changed. So it is possible to change your booking free of charge up to 36 hours before departure. Under this time frame, we can't guarantee changes, but we would try our very best to accommodate them. It's also important to note that many changes can just be made directly through your profile when you go to My Trips. The last question is, do drivers give local travel information as they are driving or during a stop? And the answer is yes. So although they're not formal tour guides per se, they will provide some information and anecdotes, perhaps a recommendation for a place to stop for coffee or lunch. And also if the clients would like to, then they can certainly make a stop for lunch during the trip. So although they're not formal tour guides, they are happy to provide some anecdotes and let your clients know about the regions through which they are traveling. So that is it for the FAQs. If anyone has any last questions, feel free to pop them in the chat, or if something comes to mind later, you can email me directly or our 24/7 customer support. I will also just pop my email in the chat so that you all have it. So that is the end of today's webinar. I hope that it served as some useful travel information for you and some good inspiration as summer rolls around and travelers are taking off and setting sail. Once again, thank you so much for your time today. You can reach our 24/7 customer support at daytrip@daytrip.com, or you can also call them. Feel free to keep up with us on our various social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And I see that my email is not written here, so I have just popped it in the chat. And if you have any questions or any concerns or anything like that, feel free to email me anytime. But once again, thank you so much, and I hope that you all have a wonderful day ahead. Bye now.